Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Morning in progress. Yeah, not bad, thank you. FA Cup, how excited are you for this competition? How much does it mean to you as a manager as well?
Yeah, a lot. Prestigious competition, an amazing competition. I was lucky enough to get to a final with at Manchester United and at Wembley. And they're the moments you want to be a part of as a coach, as a club, and the players definitely want to be part of that. So yeah, we take this as I always do with every game, Catherine. I take every game serious, and I don't see any of these cup competitions as ones where we will rotate for the sake of it. We go into the game with the strongest team to be competitive, and we want to compete for all honours.
Tottenham obviously made the final a few years ago as well. Is that something that's still talked about within the club in terms of wanting to get there again and have those moments at Wembley?
Yeah, 100%. And you see around the training ground, Catherine, and our building where you've seen some of the pictures from that final. We've seen some of the awards. Obviously, they got a runners-up medal from that game, but and players speak about it very widely because the players know, and I know, and the club know the FA Cup is a cup that can cause upsets. It can also provide a lot of success and probably happiness for a lot of fans because you're playing upon one of the biggest, if not the most unique stadium in world football at Wembley, and we want to make sure that we have the opportunity to do that again.
I just wanted to ask you about Alan Morris, who signed a new contract this week. I appreciate you've not had the chance to work with him in the sense of seeing him play yet, but I'm sure you've kind of seen him play previously, and you've obviously probably interacted with him once he's doing a rehab. How important is it for the club to get young players tied onto a new contract, and how is she kind of getting on in her recovery as well?
Yeah, Ella's a wonderful person, and yeah, I haven't been fortunate enough to work with her on the grass yet, but she's part of a lot of our meetings going into games, our strategy meetings. She's part of anything we do individually or unit-based. She's very big on her own education and her development. I think I've seen a lot of the games and video footage before I got here of Ella when she was fit and she was playing. She got a well-deserved Lionesses call-up and unfortunately got injured on that camp. And she's worked tirelessly through this rehabilitation now, which it can be tiring, it can be dark, you can be on your own doing it, and she's got through that really, really well. She's back on the pitch training. She's getting closer and closer to team training, which is not so far away for her now. Yeah, and I'm really excited to have her back. And I think her signing a new contract was a real statement of intent from us as a club to want to keep the best talented young players, and especially English players. And I'm really excited to start work with her. And I think Ella knows that here for her development and her growth, we can play a big part in that. She knows what the club done for her to get her that recognition nationally, and she wants to get back there. And I have no doubts with her quality, and when she gets herself back to full fitness and full sharpness, that she'll be back around that Lionesses squad.
Thanks, Martin. All the best for the weekend.
Cheers, Catherine. Thank you.
Thanks, Catherine. Joe Bradshaw.
Hi Martin, good to know to meet
Hi,
you.
Joe.
Hope you're well. I just want to ask a question about facing Leicester again. What's it like to play the same team twice in a week? It's quite unusual.
Yeah, we've just done it before the break against Manchester United, so it seems to be something that's come back around. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it's a little bit maybe unusual, as you say, but whoever you draw in these competitions, you have to perform against. And as I said, unfortunately, it's been us playing them back to back, and probably me and Rick will be sick of one another by the end of the game. But no, it makes it probably a little bit. It's not easy to plan for, but it makes it more probably streamlined because you're working off the same opponent, but you can maybe have to find a way you can be a little bit different in the second game, how you can maybe change things, whether that's personnel or tactically, to be a little bit more unpredictable. So yeah, the planning process has been the same as it was the week before, but just trying to use some new information and data we picked up from the game in the league.
The same result, hopefully, for you guys, as far as you're concerned, as last weekend. Just on that note, it's been such an impressive season so far since you came in. I'm wondering, how far do you think the cricket players can go this season?
Yeah, I don't want to put a ceiling on what we can achieve, because as soon as you do that, you probably take your foot off the pedal a little bit. And whatever we want to achieve, we can do it by work ethic, attitude, behaviour, and the way we conduct ourselves on and off the pitch. And if I'd have put a ceiling on it at the start of the season, maybe we would have limited what we could have achieved. And I've said from the start, I don't want to put a limit on anything we do. I believe the players are are in a really good space. We're working hard. We're now competitive. We've added new players to the group, which freshens the group, which is important to feel in any team, in any club. We know areas we want to be better at. And I think if we continue to perform at high levels, we definitely need to build on performance in certain aspects of our game, which we are working on. And if we do that, we can achieve whatever we want. And whatever that looks like, we'll probably know by 3 or 4 games out from the end of the season.
Finally, I just wanted to ask you a question about the wider women's game. There's been reported this week about FIFA being in talks with Qatar about potentially hosting the Club World Cup in a couple of years' time. I just wondered if you had any reaction to that, whether that would be appropriate or any thoughts.
Do you know, if I'm being honest, Joe, I haven't even read anything like that. So I stay quite away from social media as much as I can. And no, I actually haven't even read anything on that. And yeah, I'd need to have a read about that before I would even comment on it. But yeah, I can't really give any honest opinion. And I'd like to give you an honest opinion, and I can't because I haven't actually read anything about it.
I appreciate that. No, thank you. All the best, Martin.
Cheers, Joe. Have a good day.
That's Chris Cowlin.
Morning, Martin. Hope you're well.
I'm good.
What did you learn about last week going into this week's game? Because as you said, back-to-back games against Leicester.
Yeah, that we needed to get into a rhythm a bit earlier. We need to be more ruthless and more efficient in mid to attack and third. We need to strengthen relationships with now players who are here and new players who have come in. We need to strengthen those relationships to make us more efficient. And yeah, I learnt a lot in terms of what we knew about Leicester. Resilient, hard to play against, good with the ball, very direct with their attacks. But I learnt a lot about us in terms of what we've done now since we've come back in and where we need to go. And we've got steps to take, definitely with the ball, but off the ball, there was a lot of aspects that we were too loose with defensively. We gave them too much time. There was too much areas to attack. So we need to get back to being that team that's hard to beat, being organised and efficient, but making sure we defend on the front foot.
Is there any updated team news at all?
No, just the same. And Katinka's back on the pitch now training. This one might come a little bit too soon. Julie's on the pitch training. She'll be in contention for this game. Olga's back on the pitch training with the team fully. This one maybe comes too early, but maybe Liverpool, she'll be in contention for that game. And then just a long-term one still. Ella Morris is very close to being in team training, which is good for her. Charlie Grant's just a little bit off still, probably by the start of February. Luana's still doing her rehabilitation. I hope I haven't missed anyone off that. Maita's still doing her rehabilitation for ACL, and the same as Jess, and those two are in a really good space. So yeah, we're doing okay. We're getting players back to the pitch, and hopefully we'll have 2 or 3 back in the next 7 to 10 days.
We keep hearing the word or reading the word ambitious from the club. How ambitious are they to take the Spurs women to the very top? Because you yourself have been very thankful to what Vinay and the ownership have delivered you so far. Is it about going to the very top, trying to win the WSL and winning trophies and competing on all fronts?
Yeah, I wouldn't have come here otherwise. If it didn't feel like their ambition matched my ambition, I wouldn't have come to the club. And since I've been here, they've invested heavily in this team. They've invested heavily in the infrastructure and framework around the team, whether that's staff, resource, facility, and they continue to do so. And yeah, I can't be more thankful, as I said, like you've alluded to. They've done everything I would expect as an ownership who are going to support a women's team, and they've gone above and beyond expectations, in my opinion, for what they've done. And they will continue to do that. They have big plans for us to compete in all competitions. They want the women's team to be in Europe on a consistent basis, and I understand that it takes time to build a team to get to that point. And they want to be competing for all honours in domestic competitions also. And I'm the same. I don't want to go into any game or competition where I don't want to win it. I'm a winner at heart, and I'm a winner on the outside too. And I want to make sure that this team can achieve that, and I believe it can with the support of the club and the owner's ambition. I believe we'll get there.
Martin, have you closed the gap with Arsenal, the biggest North London rivals for Spurs? Because in terms of league position, you're on the same points, but have you closed the gap in terms of quality and depth?
Yeah, I think I can only focus on what we do here, and you can close the gap on numerous aspects on the pitch around how you coach, and off the pitch of how you analytically set your team up, and your development of the players, the group, the staff, and how efficient we can be as a performance team. And I think we've performed at a high level. We know there's still more to come from us. If people want to look at it from yeah, points perspective in terms of closing that gap, that's fine. But I know that we still have a lot of work to do as a team. If we want to be consistently there and sustainably being at that top of part of the table, then we have a lot of work to do to stay there. And we need to make sure that we use these moments now, and this moment we're in now, Chris, to make sure that we can continue to do that. Because we're in a good space, and if you're in a good space, you need to stay in it. And then consistently, year on year, you need to deliver that. And you can look at it from a points perspective, but there's a long way to go. Things can change very quickly.
Martin, finally from me, I expect a lot of people have been asking you about the Champions League. Is it realistic for this season? And have you started to dream or even listen to the music yet?
No, no. I'm never, as I said before, I said to Joe then, I'm never unrealistic in terms of where we are and what we're doing. Will I put a ceiling on saying we can't be there and we can be there? No, because I believe anything's possible if we perform well, and we've done well so far. But as I said, you probably get more of a clear answer out of me probably 3 or 4 games out, because there's a lot still to play for in this next 10 games. And as you see in this league, it's a competitive league, and games and results can change very quickly. And we're in a nice position now. We're moving forward. We're focusing on what we can do. We've gone about our work quietly and just performed and tried to pick up 3 points along the way. And yeah, I'm delighted that we're now in a position where we can push on for the rest of the season.
Best of luck, thank you.
Cheers, Chris.
Helen?
Hi Martin, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad at all. So a couple of questions about players. I'm going to have to ask you about Signa again, because she's made a rather extraordinary debut. Can you tell me a little bit about how she's linking up with the rest of the team, and if anything surprised you about her debut?
Nothing surprised me about her debut, because I know what she's capable of. She's a wonderful player. Application, attitude and behaviours are very good to put herself in a position where she can go on the field and perform. And I think she's done that. And she's probably, as we spoke, yet she gets player of the match. But I think she knows she was probably at about 30 or 40% of her maximum. She's just come off the back of a season in Norway, and she's had a bit of an off-season, so she's not fully sharp and is not at full fitness yet. But has performed to a good level, and you could definitely see the qualities she possesses, and there'll be more to come. And the relationships with the players, she's building them every day on the pitch. They take time for players to build, to understand each other personally, professionally, and understand individual strengths and areas where they feel they can impact and complement others. And she's doing that really well on the pitch now in training. She's finding her feet, and I think it won't take Signa long. She's a very intelligent person and very mature, and she'll build those relationships quite quick. But also, we needed to give her the opportunity and a bit of time to find her feet within this league at the same time.
Brilliant. And with someone like Micah Hamana, who I think you were very canny to get her on loan, she seems like very much about the vibes. Can you tell me what sort of vibes she brings, not just to her Japanese teammates, but also to the squad?
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. First time I met her, there's never a day, there's not a smile on Micah's face. Very infectious on the group with her personality and her character. Her energy is brilliant around the training centre, around the group, around training, around the pitch. Yeah, works extremely hard, is very, very mature, and will add various qualities to us as a team. Gives us different profile and characteristic in numerous positions, but her as a human, as a person, is wonderful. Works so hard and is very, very grounded. And yeah, I think she's had such a big impact on a lot of players in this team. And you can maybe see with her appearance, when you see her as an individual, you'll see a smile on her face, you'll see her laughing and joking, and yeah, she's a wonderful human.
And this is an obvious question, but are there any more transfers planned?
Well, never say never. I want to make sure that we're in the market till the end, and we will be. And we'll make sure that if a player appeals to us, Helen, who we feel is going to add value to the squad and not just going to take part, I'm very specific on what I want and the characteristics I'm looking for to enhance the squad. And if anything appears in those moments, and we feel it's right for us as a club, then we will do it. But one thing I can assure you is we won't just rush in and take anybody for the sake of doing it. It's got to be right for us now and for longer term. That the players that potentially, if anyone comes available, that they can add value to us now and in the future.
Brilliant, thanks very much. I hope it's a good game.
Cheers, Helen. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan?
I'm Martin, hope you're well. Just want to ask you about outgoings more than anything else, particularly around the young players. Obviously, Spurs have got a lot of young players who I'm sure are kind of closing in on the first team squad. So year we see a lot of dual reg deals, a lot of loans. I suppose what's the process that you kind of go through at this time of year between kind of, do you set them out to get extra minutes, or do you kind of give them the benefit of playing regularly in the professional game academy?
Yeah, there's a lot of difference with that. It's a really good question, because you have a lot of good talented players in our PGA squad, and some of them train up with us quite consistently. There's some who are already on dual registrations already, because it's right for their development. We have some really young players in our senior squad now that are doing really well, and I feel to get them closer to where we want them to be, to our identity, our environment, our physicality, of what we want to look like as a team. Sometimes it's good to have those players with you consistently. Every player wants to play more minutes. There's not one from a younger or older that doesn't want to play a lot of minutes, because that's what they're here to do as professional footballers. But you have to weigh up so many different aspects and probably avenues with that of what is right for their development and their growth at this moment in time. Is it a consistent playing environment and some minutes? Is it going out on loan and getting minutes? But also, what do those minutes look like is big for me. Is it just that you're guaranteed to get them minutes, which then you don't really earn the right to be on the pitch maybe at times? You maybe get it for the sake of getting it. And I want the players' professional kind of mindset and attitude to know that they have to earn the right to be on the pitch. And we make so many different decisions along the way, and there'll be some of those dual registrations maybe that happen for the younger players, but I have a very close eye and close relationship with the academy manager, Nick, there. We're liaising weekly on who we feel is right at this moment to be around the group and train, who maybe needs a dual registration and needs a little bit more exposure to women's and senior football. And we make those decisions and check in regularly with the academy squad.
Just back to the game this weekend, I just want to ask about Rachel Williams, because obviously you're very familiar with her.
Yeah.
Former Spurs player. I think she was 38 last week, and obviously she's still going at the top level, so adds a little bit of spice to the tie. What are your experiences of working with her, and just how much of a role model and kind of champion is she in the women's game?
Yeah, I don't have any bad word about Rachel at all. She's a wonderful person and a super, super professional, by the way. And maybe a lot of people don't really see that, but her attitude, commitment, the way she supports and kind of channels younger players in their development. She's been a pioneer of the game for so long and is well recognised around women's football, and should be, and rightly so. But still has a lot to offer in terms of as a player. Physically, very, very good. Probably in terms of in the box, early, probably the best player I've ever worked with in the box, with her head, in terms of her commitment and that desire and passion to get on the ball, her aggression off the ball and her physicality, her game craft and understanding and smartness around the game is very high. And I think it's a wonderful move for her and a brilliant addition to Leicester's squad. She'll cause teams a lot of problems, and I have wonderful things to say about her. She was outstanding at the time I was at Man United, and I can't speak any more highly of her.
Brilliant. Excellent, Martin. Best of luck for the weekend.
Cheers, Dan. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Alia?
Hey Martin, I just wanted to ask, you were a technical director during your time at Liverpool. To what extent have you leveraged the skills gained from that experience to the transfers and contract extensions you've made for Spurs so far?
Yeah, I think when I was at Liverpool, it was a little bit different. I was overlooking the whole of the girls' academy as well as managing the under-21 setup. And probably from that, the experiences gained there around youth development and players' development, when it's right for a player to make the next step, and using that to my advantage now. All those probably experiences I've had and qualities I gained along that way throughout my other roles too have enabled me to make better decisions around young players, better decisions on when you renew with young players and when you don't, and when it's right for them to be in a senior environment and not. But that definitely shaped that role, definitely shaped a lot of my decision making in I Mate with young players, because it was a really thorough job and it was a big job to do at that point, and it enabled me to maybe see youth development and development in football totally different to what I've maybe seen it before.
Yeah, and one factor that draws in crowds at Spurs perhaps lack at the moment compared to other top sides is having lionesses who are regularly in the senior squad. Is this something you hope to welcome with both for players in the youth England rankings and players that you have that have already been capped for the senior side?
Yeah, it's important, and every team in the league will want to have young Lioness players, the up-and-coming players, the next generation of English talent, and we certainly want to have that, and I think we have some here now, and we have players who are widely recognised in those England youth setups. We have some who've been around the senior team, and we want to make sure that we continue to develop those players internally, making sure we coach and provide them an environment and a pathway to senior football domestically and nationally. But when the opportunity comes, if it's to bring a youth international player in who's an England player, then we look to do it. And yeah, we're always trying to find the best ways that we can provide an environment for these young English talent. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Robert Villa handballed Spurs to first FA Cup final in his first season in charge. From the transfers you've made so far and what you've seen from your squad performing both in the league and the cup so far, do you think you and your team have what it takes to go that one step further and win it this year?
Yeah, I have no doubts that we can, when we perform to the levels I know we can, and we've shown that consistently through large parts of the season. If you look at us at half a season, I think we perform to a good level, and if we perform to a higher level than what we usually do, and we go above and beyond the levels we've shown in this first part of the season, I have no doubts we can be around that part of the competition, the latter stages, and that all determined by performance, Alia. If we step up in the right moments, also along in cup competitions, you have to make sure you're on it from the start of the game, because it's a one-off game. There's no two legs in it, so we need to make sure that when we're in those latter stages of competitions, if we want to be there, we've got to show more ambition, more passion, more desire to get there over other clubs, and I have no doubt this playing group can do that.
Yeah, and just finally for me, several players currently sidelined with injuries. Once they return, how do you intend to both keep everyone happy and rotate minutes to get the best results possible in all the games?
Yeah, I will always, when there's players coming back into the squad, obviously that strengthens the depth in the squad. It gives us more opportunity to have different profiles, maybe for different games, depending on what the game plan is. But also provides competition, which I think is very healthy in elite football. That players have got someone pushing them and challenging them, and I think that's a really healthy advert for any sort of club wanting to push for all honours and at the top end of the table. So yeah, we welcome that competition, welcome players back, because it's great as a coach to have all your players fit. And when we go into those games, we have to make sure that we put a team out that's going to win the game. And if that can provide minutes for certain players in those moments, then it does. But also, more importantly for me, it's putting a team out that's going to win the games for Tottenham Hotspur.